Katti Power here from Sing Without Limits, and this is the Vocal Power Hour. Today, I'm going to show you how to belt in under 5 minutes. You heard me, less than 5 minutes. This is not a trick, it's not a life hack, and it will not melt belly fat with one weird trick. Sorry, I've been on the internet all day. Anyway, you might wonder how I'm going to show you how to do something so difficult that fast. Well, here's the secret. It isn't that difficult at all. In fact, belting is actually natural, and when done properly, is even a totally healthy form of singing. I heard belting was like super bad for your voice, like really bad. That vocal fry at the end of your sentence is actually bad. Belting? Not at all. I'll give you an example. These tribal singers make it look easy, because it is. Now listen to how natural this is. Or think about babies crying. Listen to how easily they wail with remarkable power and volume. I'm totally kidding. I'm not going to cut to a crying baby video. I'm a teacher, not a monster. The point is, these sounds are all natural expressions that our voices are supposed to make. We were designed to do it. As singers, we need to understand how to undo all the things that aren't natural so that we can just be. And that's what belting is all about. Okay, enough chatter. Let's start the clock. Now, some more chatter. Hey, my series, my rules. Before we belt, I have a little more explaining to do because you aren't in my studio, so I need to check and double check and triple check that you're doing this right. And that is your chance to ask a question and get personal coaching from me for free. Every week, I do a free live Q&A call to answer as many of your questions as I can get to in an hour. More details on that later. Back to belting. I mean, we have a clock running down, for crying out loud. So take a moment and think about everything that you've ever been told about belting. I mean it. And think of all the things people in your career have said or taught you about it. I'll wait. And go. You good? Fantastic. Now forget all of it. It has no place here. Great. Now that we have that out of the way, we're going to play a bit of pretend. Now imagine you're walking down the street and some jerk face comes out of nowhere and swipes your purse or your briefcase or small dog, whatever. If that happened, you probably wouldn't react by yelling, "Hey, that's mine!" You also wouldn't say, "Hey, that's mine!" because both of those are weird. Don't ever do that. What you would do, more likely, is call out, "Hey, that's mine!" Now I want you to try that. A couple things, though. No raspiness, like, "Hey, that's mine!" Right? Or, ugh, God, that makes me feel like crap. Ugh. Or, no grinding of your voice, like, "Urgh." So think of this as your calling voice. Okay, go ahead. Say, "Hey, that's mine!" like you mean it. Fantastic. That is absolutely it. Now, we're going to try something else. Imagine that you were 3 years old and you are mad. We're getting crazy in here. Scrunch up that little girl toddler's face and say your favorite word, "No!" Really go for it. There is no shame here. I can't even hear you or see you. And even if I could, I'm the one telling you to do it. So no judgment from me. Go. Awesome. Guess what? Now we're going to sing like that. Now, in the beginning, I call this your baby belt because it doesn't really sound all that pretty. It will later, I promise. But today, we have to know that we're doing it right because that is more important than doing it pretty. I want you to remember that always. Doing it right is more important than doing it pretty. So just trust me. Repeat after me. That spoiled 3-year-old voice, you're going to go, "Hey." Ready? Let's do it again. Hey. belted. And we still have time to spare. So that gives me time to explain exactly what we just did so that you will always know how to find it later. Belting is singing in your calling voice, which is just a louder version of your speaking voice. And that's it. You've probably been taught to sing with a very open space. I hate that term, but it's a really common one, so we're just going to define it. What they're trying to say with open space is that you need to sing with a raised soft palate, which is that squishy area of the roof of your mouth, you know, where the uvula is, or the scientific term, the hangy down thing. And for legit singing, that's the classical stuff, that's totally true, because when your soft palate is raised, it blocks off the passageway into your nose so no sound can come out of there, which is fantastic to keep in mind if you intend to be an opera singer. Otherwise, it's just good to know where the soft palate is for body awareness, because in belting, you aren't going to raise that at all. And if you do, you won't be belting anymore, which means you won't be able to keep that sound all the way up high. You won't be able to avoid all those pesky breaks in your voice. And you'll probably feel really sore and tired when you're done. With a raised soft palate, which feels the same as yawning, you are either singing in your chest register, or your head register, oh. I'm sure you've heard that terminology before. And when the soft palate is in its neutral position, which is lowered, you are either belting or mixing or talking. And what's cool is that as long as you are properly supporting your sound, which we'll talk about another time, you can belt all day long and not lose your voice or even feel the tiniest bit fatigued. The other super cool thing about belting is that when it's done properly, all of those annoying breaks in your voice totally go away. It's like magic, except that it's actually science. I can't wait to talk with you in the Q&A portion of the Vocal Power Hour with me, Katti Power. As always, I believe that the safest and best way to make sure that you're singing right is to check with a pro. And hey, I'm offering you that for free. Check the details below for how to get in on the call, and maybe I'll answer your question live.